For a long time you could say the Harry Potter IP was dead in the water for a while, especially in video games. The last time we got a Harry Potter game that wasn't either a Lego game or a mobile game was way back in 2011. If we also skip the weird move exclusive, we're looking at hardcore, straight up Harry Potter games, we're looking at 11 years since the last one. And the last one was based on definitely Harry Potter 2, releasing the same year as the film, so we can all expect how well that went. Gaming IP has been basically put onto a Petrificus Saturnarum spell, and it doesn't help with J.K. Rowling's dodgy views not helping the franchise as a whole. Also, with the new heavy-hitting film taking a massive hit at the box office, this not being helped with the Johnny Depp controversy. Bloody hell, looking at the past couple of years, the Harry Potter franchise has had a rough time. Hi and welcome back to the Moment Game, and today's we're mumbling about the upcoming Harry Potter game, even though it dropped the Harry Potter for some reason and became Hogwarts Legacy. So let's start with what we've already seen of the game. Before that though, please give this video a like and subscribe for future mumbles. At the moment for the game that's released in about a month, we have seen a good amount of gameplay, even though when we look at other games that have shown this amount, it hasn't been the best release. Saints Row. When looking at the different trailers, we have seen a lot of different things that would make the average Harry Potter superfan go,
oh my god, even his shadow! Look at his shadow!
It has all the possible classes, it has all the different areas of the school, even areas we haven't seen before from the books to explore. What could easily excite a lot of people, but if we take our nostalgia goggles off for a minute and remember the reason wasn't just the world of Harry Potter why it became so popular, it was the actual story. The Fantastic Beasts box office success has proven that, or lack of box office success that is. Altogether we have seen around about 1.5 to 2 hours, and a lot of gaming worlds this would be a positive, but recently looking at a lot of games, the more you see, the worse it is. It is a lot of wizards and witches out there wet dream.
Ugh, it's everywhere. It's between my goddamn toes.
But for people who are more muggle but will happily watch Harry Potter in the autumn and looking at the gameplay, there is definitely some dark arts at play. One of them being the fact that near 15 to 30 minutes of gameplay shown was actually the gameplay only available through paying for the collector's edition of the game. This stood out massively in the last gameplay reveal, where we saw some flying around and an arena battle mode, but near all this was only available in a certain edition of the game. It has been confirmed that there won't be any microtransactions throughout the gameplay of Hogwarts Legacy, but still this just felt a bit weird. It's starting to look more likely that we will be paying to unlock different areas of Hogwarts down the line. Well, definitely isn't a bad thing. Some of the best moments in gaming have been part of DLC with extra costs. Take the Resident Evil 7 DLC for example, what has amazing content within it. But already in Hogwarts Legacy we have DLC what looks to be very simple arena based combat. It definitely feels like these arena type areas what have been put behind a special edition should have been used for just some slight challenge to get that precious platinum trophy. It definitely feels like a weird move and straight up waving that red flag in your face. But at least we don't have to pay to fly a broomstick, right? Another worry that popped up through the last gameplay was the actual open world, or lack of things to do in that open world. Yeah, it's great that we can explore the kitchen of Hogwarts, customize your dorm room and your magic beast book. That all sounds pretty fun to do, and with it gives you a lot of different ways to experience the game. Then though we have a look at the actual open world area, and well, it feels a little empty. This looks like a Harry Potter film, but as a game it's starting to feel that it might be a little boring. When we look at open world games now, they're improving massively. There's loads to do. Look at games like Ghost of Tsushima. Every second there is something to distract you from the main story. Then there's Elden Ring, another game that just raised the bar for open world games. But looking at this one while flying through the world of Hogwarts Legacy, yeah, the areas look beautiful but slightly boring, empty at the same time. I just need some randomness, something attacking you out of nowhere. It just feels like it needs something a bit extra of what we've already seen so far. It could still have this and they haven't shown it. If there was this random side quest feel to when you're exploring the world, why haven't they shown that yet if the game is releasing in less than a month? Although the gameplay does look very interesting and is very close to what everybody loves about Harry Potter. The amount of different spells from Abracadabra to Stupidipool, I do hope there is a kind of loyalty system like Dark and Light Side, like a Star Wars RPG type element deal, but currently there is whispers of this, but it feels already very unlikely when a lot of the dark arts elements are already behind that paywall as mentioned. It would definitely be a missed opportunity, but looking at what we know about the story, I just don't see it happening. It would be great to be an evil wizard or witch, but they still haven't shown any of this. No choices seem to change the direction of the story. It could be what house you're put into, but at the moment it doesn't feel like if you choose a house it will either put you in a good or bad category, because that would limit you massively. Some people just want to be a Slytherin and a good guy. Speaking of the story, it has kind of gone a different direction, but it does feel they should have went a bit further, as we're still going to be fighting a dark wizard. In the past we have seen some true badass top evil dogs in the pack, the obviously one being the one who should not be named, Voldemort. How many have we now? 4 versions for reasons, and at one point story. Remember when Grenville was the Penguin? That was easier times in the Harry Potter world.
It is. Look at that.
Anyway, what we get in Hogwarts Legacy, a cooler version of Voldemort, or a stronger version of Grenville, a female Dark Lord maybe. No. This guy. Alright. We are getting a Goblin Rebellion, what is led by this guy, what looks pretty cool, so that is a plus I think. So we are fighting a mix of Dark Wizards and Goblins. After only really seeing banking Goblins, it's definitely some interesting
shiznit.
With some basic dark wizardry, seeing some worrying things as they've gone down a kind of basic path. As they're already going down that special wizard with some powers other wizards don't have, and the enemies want it for themselves. Feels like I've heard that one before. Goblins are a nice touch, but it doesn't take away much from the simple path of the game. When looking at the concept of the wizarding world in the 1800s, why not do something different rather than kind of redo what we already know from the films? Why not make a completely different villain? Why not make the humans the villains? A war between wizards and humans where humans are trying to expose the wizardry world, putting Hogwarts in danger. Through this you become a student who's also part of the defense of the wizardry world. Through the time you play, the story gets darker as humans invade the wizard world, the Harry Potter world, the Hogwarts world, whatever you want to say it. And then through you playing, the story gets darker as humans invade the wizardry world. It's something we haven't seen before, and that's what this game should be. Now we get given these choices to how to deal with this problem. Should we spare the humans or kill them? There's so many different ways to tell that story and then create a wizard alongside it, either evil or good, and that would massively change the wizardry world in massive ways. Looking at the current state of the wizardry franchise as a TV and film world, it's not going anywhere anytime fast, so why not experiment with this game rather than make a pretty boring Hogwarts story? Unless there is more than meets the eyes, and there is a bigger villain in the game hiding behind the scenes till later on. It feels like they would have shown this villain by now for marketing value, as a good villain can sell a game. Look at the Far Cry series, they've been doing it for nearly 10 years. Then lastly we have the studio who's developing Hogwarts Legacy and the delays on PS4 and Xbox One. But the delays will become the norm as it's becoming increasingly difficult to put a game on both generations as the current generation of games starts to increase in quality. It is likely that a struggle with the last generation could affect the development on the current, meaning we may see some glitches throughout our playthrough. But looking at the studio behind the development of the game, it's possible that this might be the biggest worry of them all. No offense to Avalanche Studios, they could blow it out the water, catching the golden snitch and perfecting the wizardry world of Harry Potter and become the game of the year 2023. But looking at Avalanche's past games, it also could be the bludgeon and become the forgotten game of 2023 and end up on all them end of year lists. You know the ones. Avalanche's arguably biggest game was Disney Infinity, and before that and after that worked massively on the Disney movie tie-in games, with the last game they made was actually Cars 3. There is definitely some positivity here. The studio has been around the track a couple of times, as it's worked on Mortal Kombat, the Tax series, and also a Dragon Ball game. This studio has some skeletons. It could be with this weird amount of experience, they could make a surprise hit, but looking at their past game, it doesn't feel like this game will be anything special. I personally haven't played Cars 3, I'm not gonna. But I'm gonna take a guess and say it's not the best game of 2017. And now when we're flying around Hogwarts Legacy, let's just think of Cars 3, okay? There's definitely some great elements in the game, including the common rooms being the hub areas. Personally, I hate hub areas. For a lot of people, this would be great. There's also the inclusion of Fantastic Beasts, what is great and wasn't expected that much. It's very super funny. There'll be a lot of people out there, super fans of Harry Potter, that will probably hate you even worrying about the upcoming game? I see it in the comments now, and I see it in the dislikes. But sadly, it does feel like there is some smoke somewhere in the development and promotion of this game, as it feels like there's going to be a lot more paywalls down the line. The amount of gameplay we have seen, and we've already had a full showcase of DLC, was a simple kind of concept of it just being an arena and also being dark art, some of the favourite elements of Harry Potter for a lot of fans. It just feels weird, and it already feels like there's some red flags popping up here and there for this game. With near all games, when you see near 2 hours of gameplay, it feels like you've seen a lot, but with this one we've seen 2 hours and it still feels like we haven't seen that much. And with the last one focusing on that paid arena DLC and flying around the map, it just felt a bit odd, and that could be a worrying thing for this game. Now, a lot of elements do look enjoyable, don't get me wrong, but already people are calling this the future game of the year of 2023. This comparing to Elden Ring, and then if you look at that open world to this open world, already you can see how much detail and different elements were in this content-wise. Hogwarts Legacy just feels kind of empty, what we've seen so far. Why not show a side quest at least, if they are there? As currently there is a lot of worrying elements passing through this game. So if I was you, I would definitely worry about this game, as I am. On paper, there is a lot of good things about this game, but the more you see, the more red flags you see. But more red flags are popping up, suggesting this game isn't as meets the eye and won't be as good as most expect. I do think super fans of Harry Potter will enjoy this easily. It's exploring the world that everybody loves. There will be a lot of gamers out there who want still a lot of content and a lot of things to do. Looking at the gameplay we've been shown, it does feel like there's more stuff to look at than actually do. But I am excited about this game, and I hope I am wrong to worry about it. And that's it for this Mumble. Please like and subscribe and comment your thoughts on Hogwarts Legacy, and I will see you on the next Mumble.